Howdy, folks. This is good old JR Jim Ross. I want to thank you for downloading the Ross Report, and I certainly want to thank all the sponsors. We've got some great sponsors who make this possible every single week. What do you do when you want a snack, but the only thing you can find is junk food? I know how hard it is resisting those temptations. Willpower is tough, folks, and it doesn't always work in those situations. So start snacking healthy with Nature Box. Nature Box makes snacks that actually taste great and are better for you. They're created from high-quality ingredients, and they don't have any artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners either. They have a great selection, folks. Everything from honey Dijon pretzels to dried California peaches to praline pumpkin seeds. And Nature Box recently made their service even better. Get a load of this. Now you can order as much as you want, as often as you want, with no minimum purchase required. That's no minimum purchase required. And you can cancel at any time. All you have to do is go to naturebox.com and check out their snack catalog. Hey, nothing like reading a snack catalog. They have over 100 snacks to choose from, so you'll never get bored. There's nothing like snack boredom. If you try a snack that you don't love, Nature Box will replace it for free. And right now, you'll save even more because Nature Box is offering 50% off your first order when you go to naturebox.com/podcast. That's naturebox.com/podcast to get 50% off your first order. Try it now, folks. You'll be happy you did. naturebox.com/podcast.
He's considered the greatest broadcaster in wrestling history. And now, WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross brings his legendary voice and his famous friends to the podcast world. Welcome to the Ross Report.
All right, everybody, here we go. Another episode of Slobber Knocker Audio is on the air. And I appreciate you all being with us. We got a great show for you here this week. One of the hottest performers in all of pro wrestling will join me, Broken Matt Hardy. And it will be quite the conversation, I can assure you. We'll talk about a lot of things, including a huge night on the Hardy compound where you'll hear exclusive information on that event on this program here tonight. Plus, I'll talk to the legendary Bill Apter, the author. We'll talk about his book, as a matter of fact. The title's great. Is Wrestling Fixed? I didn't know it was broken. So it's Bill Apter is a good dude, and we'll talk to Bill about his book and other things going on in his life. I once sat at a Clash of Champions, and he was at ringside. I said, there's the Bob Newhart of wrestling photographers, Bill Apter, and his very auspicious haircut. So Apter coming up next, or in a few minutes, a lot of great stories from Billy, no doubt about that. And folks, we're able to bring you both Broken Matt Hardy and Bill Apter on this episode, and do it for free because, thanks in part to Great Clips. Save time every time when you use online check-in for a great haircut at Great Clips. Download our free app, check in online at greatclips.com. What you do now with the time you save is totally up to you. Great Clips. It's going to be great. All right, like I said, my conversation with Bill Apter is coming up momentarily. But first, I got a few things on my mind. Nice close to Monday Night Raw this past week. New women's champion. Congratulations, Sasha Banks. You know, WWE's got to be a little bit careful there because a couple of things. One is, I don't know how many times I want to see Sasha and Charlotte again, in the ring. They need to take a little bit of a break, a timeout maybe. But in any event, you can certainly give the audience too much, and at some point that too much ceases to become special, and you don't want that to happen when those two talents are too good. So, but nonetheless, they closed the show at main event spot. another hand raise for their gender. Happy for them. And it's a good thing. Good thing. So I thought the ladies had a good match. My wife texted me and said, what an amazing match between Sasha and Charlotte. And that's the first time that she's done that in a long time. So based on that household recommendation, it must have been pretty damn good. All right. Somebody was asking me what I think is going to happen with Goldberg and Lesnar. The obvious thing to me, and I don't think sometimes doing things that are obvious, are they really obvious? But doing the obvious isn't a bad thing. I would think that you'd have Goldberg, who's declared to be in the Royal Rumble match, and Lesnar, who will be in it or not. I suggest that both will eliminate the other if they are. If not, then Lesnar can eliminate Goldberg, and that would lead to their rematch at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. It seems to me that with as much as WWE has invested in both these men, that WrestleMania is the only right place to blow it off. So that's where I would see something happening along those lines. But you got to kind of have the storyline's got to come to another big pop, which could happen at the Rumble, and then that would hopefully catapult them with some momentum into April the 2nd in Orlando. Hey, I know that WWE's looking to move some tickets to the Royal Rumble, as are we, by the way. I don't have as many to sell as they do. They're going to be in the Alamo Dome and for the Royal Rumble, and I'm thinking, you got to have a lot of firepower for the show. I think the show's going to have more whistles and bells, maybe. In other words, maybe a couple of strong non-Rumble match attractions to market. And I thought of this on the drive to the station tonight. What about, for Royal Rumble now, what about, and maybe too quick, Shane McMahon versus Triple H? It wouldn't affect the Rumble match because I don't think either guy's going to be in the Royal Rumble match. So the text doesn't hurt that. They have personal common denominators that you could build a personal issue on very easily. So, will it happen at Rumble? Maybe it's too early. Maybe that's a WrestleMania match as well. Hell, I don't know. Could be. But will it happen? Absolutely. It's too natural not to happen. It makes sense. I'd like to see it when it's right. Another thing about that, the Royal Rumble in San Antonio. Now, we're going to have our show there, and at the Improv, right there at River Center, and I'll be telling you about that a little bit later in the show. But nonetheless, it's just a short little walk from the Improv at River Center to the Alamo Dome, and they're going to need to sell a lot of tickets for that show because that's a big old building. Another thing that might make some sense is an Undertaker return. I don't know I know he's been doing some physical therapy on his hip after the hip procedure, and I'm sure that's just part of the first of many. I would say many, but it's not the last hip surgery he'll need. I wouldn't think. Guessing. I'm not a doctor. Never played one on TV. Thank God. So I just think that an Undertaker return, if he's healthy, could sell a lot of tickets. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? They got to sell over 50,000 tickets, I think. So bottom line there is that that's another attraction that would not adversely affect the Royal Rumble match, because I don't think you'd be brazen enough to bring the Undertaker back and put him in the Royal Rumble match like at number 29 and not have him win it. Just me. Don't know. Hey, I read online, and I don't know can this be true? Can it be true that many Ring of Honor talent contracts come due at the same time at the end of the year? Think about that. Yet X number, whatever that number may be, but a significant number, probably double-digit number of talents that you've built all year on television and are continuing to build, and their contracts come up at the end of the year. Well, doesn't that make you vulnerable? Seems like it would. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. That's the other thing I want to make sure that you understand. if it's true, it's not sound business strategy. I think we can all agree to that, if it's true. So hopefully it's not true, because I'm a big Ring of Honor fan. They've got a significant pay-per-view event coming up on Friday night, December the 2nd, just around the corner. Friday night, December the 2nd. And that'll be on the Fight app, live when it happens on Friday night, December the 2nd, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. But then it'll be replayed throughout the weekend on the Fight app, FITE. So check it out. Hell of a card, I'll tell you that. I'm looking forward to Cody Rhodes and Jay Lethal. That'll be a good match. Along with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. They'll tear it up, guarantee you. And it'll be interesting to see how the Briscoe brothers and the Young Bucks dismantle each other with their insanity. And a fun night was had by all. So check it out on the Fight app, Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Always good. And as long as they continue to go focus on bell to bell, I'm with them. As long as they don't try to produce campy or poorly acted skits, I'm cool. I can stand a match that might not be 5 stars occasionally. I can get over that quicker than I can get over bad acting. I think I received some positive news this week about, at least I perceive to be positive, about our World of Sport project with ITV. Very excited about the possibility of this situation. I don't think people understand how big it could be if it happens. ITV's will be if they cleared World of Sport in a 1-hour weekly broadcast, I think that they would be the most powerful broadcast clearance for a pro wrestling program in the world, because they are a over-the-air, a free TV for everybody to see network. They're not, they're on cable, but they're not a cable station. So they're monster signal, monster, coverage. So could be a game changer. That's all I'm saying. So I'll they were talking some dates. So I don't know, just penciled in case it gets they give it the green light, and maybe we'll know soon. But I think it looks favorable. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I have no concrete evidence that's looking favorable, but we've had conversations recently, and they've been, in my view, again, seemingly, I think, good news. So my fingers are crossed for this. It's a new adventure for me. Working with talent again, helping write some television, broadcasting, getting, and doing it on a time thing where you're gone 10 days and you do your work and you're done for a while. Because 10 days equals 10 weeks of television. And if you did more, some days you doubled up and did 2 shows, look what you got. You got even more product. So it's done you make one trip over and do your work and one trip home. There you go. So I'm hoping that happens. It's something new. It's like building a franchise. It's like returning a franchise to a city that once had a franchise. So you're starting over, but there's tradition there, and there's integrity, and there's the love of the product. And you get all that in Britain. So that's what I'm thinking. I'll keep you tuned. Stay tuned, informed. Also, you can expect an announcement from Access TV soon. I think there was some positive news, by the way, regarding Access TV's coverage of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I haven't got all the information on it, but I know some of it includes cutting down the delay time, and also has something to do with our coverage of Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know all the details. And I can tell you that I just re-signed with Access for another year. So I'm happy for that. So that's good. And so a lot of good things are going on. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. And that's what's on my mind. All right, now, the holidays are coming. Boy, aren't they? They're going to be here before we know it. And I got a great suggestion for you. Think about this. Pick up some Bowl and Branch sheets for yourself and for your guest bedroom. The shipping is free. And hey, they come in a really nice gift box. So those amazing sheets also make great gifts. Think about that. Plus, you don't have to gift wrap them. Are you with me? You get where I'm coming from here? This will be a superb gift. Like for the mother-in-law, sister-in-law, buddy. It's good stuff, man. All Boll & Branch bedding and blankets are made from pure 100% organic cotton, which means they're about as soft as sheets that you can sleep on. And you're basically getting these luxury sheets at wholesale prices because you're buying directly from Boll & Branch. You know how much luxury sheets in the store can cost? Oh, my God. Up to $1,000, folks. But Boll & Branch sheets are only a couple of $100. Forbes, the Wall Street Journal, and Fast Company are all talking about Boll & Branch. And here's the best part. You can try Boll & Branch sheets for 30 nights with free shipping. If you don't love them, you can send them back for a refund. And if you go to bollandbranch.com and use the promo code podcast1, you could get $50 off your first set of sheets. So go to bollandbranch.com and use the promo code podcast1 to get $50 off your first set of sheets. That's bollandbranch.com, promo code podcast1.
What do you believe? Would you have had the courage of Muhammad Ali to take on the government based on principle? Or could you find the resolve of Tommy Smith and John Carlos and raise your fist in defiance? Would you have been tough enough to hold your sisters down like Billie Jean King? I'm Chris Webber. Join me every Tuesday on my podcast, Fearless or Insane. We'll discuss sport, athletes, and their impact on society, politics, and culture. Download on Podcast One, podcast1.com, and iTunes.
You're listening to The Ross Report.
Good to catch up with a 50-year veteran of the pro wrestling business. And yes, we still say pro wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Here with Bill Apter. Billy, you're busier than a fruit merchant, as my grandpa would say. Tell us about your book.
So the book came out, and the name of the book is Wrestling Fixed? I Didn't Know It Was Broken.
Right.
And it's the story of my life, but what sets this book apart from all the other wrestling books is there's no dirt in it.
No dirt?
No dirt, nothing. It's Uncle Bill sitting on the couch and telling you stories. And people have told me when they read the book that they can actually just hear my voice telling these stories. Other than a chapter on Randy Savage wanting to kill me, and of course the Chris Benoit story, everything's just a nice, light, fun story.
Yeah. Well, you've had such an amazing run. I know that you remember the controversial cover on PWI with the UWF Cup?
I shot that.
I know, and that pissed off a lot of the establishment, seemingly at that time. It seemed like it. Did it or not?
It did in a way where people in the, if they weren't on national cable TV, it was like, why are you putting those guys on the cover? You know, nobody knows who they are. Well, there were guys in that group who people knew who they were from some of the other companies and all that. And we thought that what I never realized, and it took me ages to do this, was that the cover of the magazine is what sells the magazine. So make it different, make it appealing. There were guys that came over to me for years, you know, hey Bill, I'm real PO'd at you. Why am I not on the cover? And Bruno's on the cover. And I'd say, well, I have to ask the boss. And then I found out the answer. Stanley Weston would say, we're a publishing company. We're selling magazines. All right? If he's got an ego, tell him to tell McMahon to put him in the main event, and then we'll put him in the cover. Yeah, so he looked at it as a business. And I looked at it. One of my things that I always wanted to be in this business was the backstage Gene Okerlund guy. And now after all these years, it's 50 years in the business, I'm starting to travel and do more of this and backstage interviews at a lot of the indies and stuff. And it takes a while, but I always tell people today who say, how do I get into this? It's a different era. It's a different business. But the trick is don't go on Twitter, don't go on Facebook and piss people off. Because once you do that, it's all over for you. I can't understand that. One guy came over to me today. He said, I criticized something on one of the WWE guys. He tweeted me back, pretty much telling me to go shove it and all this kind of stuff. I said, well, why did you say that to him? So, and check your facts out, too.
I find that sometimes, and more often than I'm comfortable with, that a lot of fans today that are big consumers of social media, they're big in the internet, they have become contrarians. They like little.
They like to knock.
Yeah.
They like to knock things. I always find when somebody does a show report, when I'm on OneWrestling.com, the site that I still work for after all these years, we do everything in a positive vein. We don't. If a writer sends something to us, that so-and-so sucked in his match, or, it was below there's a way to say it nicely that I didn't think he was up to his game that night. Sure. You can say it that way, and the wrestler and nobody else is offended at that. But when people who write sit there and, I'm on the internet, I can bash everything, it's not the way to go, because nobody in the business is going to like you.
I call them keyboard warriors. They have a lot of courage when they're in anonymity, sitting behind their keyboard and saying what they want to say. Now, I know that you are still a massive fan. You're always going to be a fan like me. Who do you see on TV now that you like?
Well, first of all, people ask me, why do I still watch it? Why do I like what they're showing on TV? And I tell people that the window dressing has changed. But what goes on in the four corners and the six corners sometimes too is still a product of athleticism. And that I like there's very few people that I see in WWE and even TNA and some of the indies that I don't like. I can't stick one person out and say, well, Finn Balor, of course, before he got hurt. But even the fact that they're trying to push Roman Reigns now, I think he's a great worker, great wrestler, and all this. Why the fans don't like him, I look at him, I think he's tremendous. So those two and Seth Rollins.
Why don't you think fans why have the fans, in your opinion, just an opinion, why have some of the fans been so vocal in wanting to not accept Roman Reigns as a babyface?
I wish I had the answer to that. I don't get it, because I find out that the older fans are shooing him away, when yet the kids, the younger fans, really like him. Now, if you remember, one of his relatives, this guy named Dwayne, remember that guy?
Dwayne Johnson, had a nice career.
Yeah, The Rock, that's what it is. By the way, I've started an anti-rock movement. When people ask, what's your name? He says, it doesn't matter. I'm starting your name does matter. But going back to what you were saying, I don't know. I wish I had the answer about Roman Reigns, but for some reason, I think that the fans, so many of them have become these smart fans because of the internet, that the fans have now changed. And when one guy knocks somebody, everybody just kind of follows along in the whole army there.
At some of the events that you attend, does it ever concern you that there's seemingly always a small contingent, a small minority of fans that are very vocal with their chants and that they seemingly want to be noticed? Absolutely.
And do you know where those chants first started and who I pinned that on for changing the fan completely?
Do not.
ECW. Before ECW came around, if somebody messed up in the ring, you wouldn't hear chants if you screwed up. Well, they use the F-bomb in there. You wouldn't hear chants of we don't want you or anything like that.
You can't wrestle.
Yeah, you can't wrestle. So that steamrolled, and it became, those fans started becoming going to WWE shows, going to TNA shows, going to Ring of Honor shows, and they brought that fan element that kept growing, and it's still there. It's still there.
I think when people watch TV and watch a WWE show, for example, there's a lot of wrestling on TV other than WWE, but using WWE as an example.
Sure.
When you hear the John Cena chant, you're sitting at home, you're a lazy boy, and you're watching, and you hear the chant, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks."
Yeah.
The competing chants. And then you hear it in another city, then another city. I almost think sometimes it's almost the monkey see, monkey do thing.
Absolutely. And from when I was a kid, I was a monkey see, monkey do guy. I really was. And I think now part of the lore of seeing John Cena is going to the matches when he's there and doing that. I think that actually draws people in. Yeah.
You follow Ring of Honor?
At times, yes. Yeah.
Not a bad product. I enjoy their show. They're on our Fight app. I'm involved with the Fight app, FITE.
Yep.
It's really a cool thing, Bill. The Fight app is free, which you guys like you and me like free. Free's a good price.
It's a good 4-letter word.
Yeah, my wife says free 98, so I'm all for that. Free 98. So, but it's a place where people can go and download the app to their device, smartphone, iPad, tablet, PC.
I have it.
And watch. Do you enjoy it?
Yes, I enjoy Fight TV very much, and I want to just go back to talking about Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a wife, okay? And my wife wants some time from me during the week.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know why. I try and tell her, no, go with the boyfriend. But I don't have enough time in the week between that, and I also, something you may not know, and a lot of people listening or watching don't know, that for the past 10 years I maintained a day job where I work for a nonprofit company where we help people with disabilities to find jobs and job coach them. It's a nonprofit called AHED, AHEDD. So I'm there during the day, and I'm also doing the wrestling thing all day too. So between that, my family, and wrestling, sometimes when Ring of Honor, CZW, all these other great companies in TNA will invite me to shows or come cover the shows, I don't have enough time in the day to do that. Yeah.
All right, so Bill's book, ladies and gentlemen, is Wrestling Fixed? I didn't know it's broken. It's available at Barnes & Noble.
You remember that guy?
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Now you had I know the great story. If it hadn't been for you, according to Jerry Lawler, the Jerry Lawler-Andy Kaufman program, rivalry, whatever, booking would never have occurred.
That's correct. Just the real shorthand story is Andy was backstage at Madison Square Garden trying to get Vince McMahon Sr. to let him wrestle, and it wasn't going to happen. And Andy recognized me from the magazines, and he said, "What are you doing at the matches tonight?" So here's a guy who's starring on Taxi, an international known star, and he's on the E-train with me going back to Queens. We got back to my apartment, and he was just telling me about he wanted to be Buddy Rogers or Fred Blassie. I said, "You know what? McMahon's not going to let me do this. I got a friend in Memphis, and they have characters like Frankenstein, and you do a great Elvis. Let's call my friend Jerry Lawler." He says, we called Lawler, and he says, "You got Andy Kaufman, the guy from Taxi, in your roach-infested apartment?" Put him on the phone, and as they say, the rest is history.
That worked too, man. That worked. It was a personal issue. Isn't it funny how personal issues overachieve more often than not, and that they're more memorable sometimes than a title match?
Oh, absolutely. And that was the personal issue of all time, because it went to the David Letterman show. And now everyone who wasn't a wrestling fan didn't know who Jerry Lawler was.
Right. They did then.
So Andy Kaufman, that was actually the first real involvement of what became sports entertainment.
Amazing story. And Andy was, I had a little role. I actually played Lance Russell's role in the Man on the Moon movie.
I know that.
Remember that? And Lance was there. And people say, "Why didn't Lance play himself?" I said, "Ask Milos Forman, the director. I don't have any idea. I did my gig, and here we are."
I had asked them, I said, "Why didn't they do something with me in my apartment?" Because during that movie, Andy kisses his girlfriend and says, "Let's go to Memphis." And she says, "Why?" He says, "That's the wrestling capital of the world."
Right.
They said the story in Queens in my apartment was in Hollywood.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, so if people want to book you for something or reach out, how do people find Bill Apter these days on social media?
Well, my email is bapter, there's no N in it, Dusty Rhodes used to say, with the F on. So it's bapter, A-P-T-E-R, at 1, the number 1, at onewrestling.com, bapter at onewrestling.com, or I'm on Twitter at apter1wrestling. Again, the number 1.
Oh, well, hey, look, and the longer you stay in the business, those friends either pass away or they just fade away.
Yeah, we're still here.
Still here, right?
As Gordon Soley would say, indeed.
Yeah. And so long from the Peach State of Georgia. My thanks again to Wild Bill Apter for joining us here this week. It was good to catch up with Billy at an outstanding MCW wrestling event in Joppa, Maryland a few weeks ago. I always have fun with Dan McDivitt and his guys. One of the finest, if not the finest, independent wrestling promotion in the country. And check out Billy Apter's book. Is Pro Wrestling Fixed? I didn't know it was broken. What a great holiday gift, wasn't it? Great stocking stuffer. Help old Billy sell some books, man. Get it on Amazon. And please use the Ross Report Amazon link if you do. All right, Broken Matt Hardy is coming up momentarily. after we talk about CISO. That's, let me ask a question. What's the best thing that you bought for $3.99? The best thing that you bought for $3.99. How about an app that has nearly an endless supply of top-shelf comedy for you to watch on any smart device? I'm talking about CISO. CISO lets you get your comedy the way you want it, when you want it. They have exclusive originals, face-melting stand-up, next-day late-night shows, and a catalog of classics. CISO, spelled S-E-E-S-O, is the new ad-free streaming service bringing you amazing comedy, bingeable comedy, anytime, anywhere. They have every season of Saturday Night Live, for example, including the new episodes the day after they air. They have The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon, and Late Night with Seth Meyers, all the day after they air. And they even have classics like 30 Rock, Parks and Recreation, and Saved by the Bell. And right now, you can try CISO free for 2 months when you use promo code podcast1 at checkout. Did you get that? You could try CISO free for 2 months when you use the promo code podcast1 at checkout. So get your comedy on, folks. Come on, baby. Go to CISO now for your free 2-month trial when you use the promo code podcast1 at checkout. That's S-E-E-S-O. And use the promo code podcast1. That's S-E-E-S-O, as in Operation CISO.
This is the Ross Report.
I've been looking forward to this program for quite some time because I have a very special guest. I haven't talked to this exact guest on this program before. He's a first-timer. Now, I have talked to other incarnations of this guest, but this man is very unique. I want to welcome Matt Hardy to my show. Matt, how are you, sir?
Yes, I am excellent, Mr. Ross. How are you on this fine eve?
I am very good, sir.
Wonderful. That sounds absolutely tremendous. I do want to say, as we begin this conversation, Mr. Ross, you're one of the people that helped my vessel earlier when I was nearly immortal, before my broken brilliance was unlocked. You were one of the persons that first gave myself and Brother Nero the opportunity on the grand stage when we were up for Mick Mahan, and for that I will always be in your debt, yes.
Well, you've earned everything that you have coming to you. You're doing some amazing things. Tell me, where do you get the motivation? Where does it come from? What do you tap into? Because you do and produce and are involved in some very creative entities.
Yes, well, my mind runs very deep, and if you do not know the whole story, since my broken brilliance has been unlocked, my soul was generated, my soul was created on July the 7th, 7 AD. So I've been around for 2009 years. That's how old my soul is. And it has traveled from vessel to vessel to vessel. I have lived in nearly every imaginable type of vessel, any type of body you could nearly imagine. And this recent incarnation is known as professional wrestling. That is what he has done. So it's very easy to delve into all of my moments from the past. I have over 2,000 years worth to come up with different creative things. And right now my goal is to help out Impact Wrestling as much as it can to survive and thrive. I have more or less helped it survive through obscurity in the year of 2016, and now we have secured someone that is a new investor, an Anthem. They are coming in. And some of the older owners, I must delete them. And now with these new owners, we are going to make it grow, and I am going to give back to this professional wrestling business that has been so good to this current vessel I am in. And then after this, I don't know, I must go on to do other great things. Maybe I have to go on to help save Mick Mahan's show. Maybe I have to save the entire wrestling industry. Maybe I have to save the world. The United States is a broken country right now with Donald Trump as the president-elect. There are many, many things I have to do, many things that are on my plate, Mr. Ross.
You are a very, very busy man. Very busy.
Oh, and you have no idea. There are not enough hours in the day, yes. There are not enough years in the millennium.
What is the latest from the folk in Nashville? You know, there's a lot of rumors that circulate nowadays in the social media infested pro wrestling business. What is the latest on TNA?
Indeed. Well, currently what the situation is that a company from Toronto, Canada, Fight Network, that parent company, Anthem, is coming in, and they have purchased the tape library. They have purchased the majority shareholder stake of the company, and they will be the majority owners, owning 90% or more of the company. So they have very big plans, and they want to take this and help Impact Wrestling reach its fullest potential, and there is a ton of potential there. There are many other great mortal men and women that are on the roster in addition to my immortal self. And those people that are there, I would love to see them gain those opportunities. Over the last couple of years, they have been, so unstable, and it's been such a volatile situation because the current management has just not been able to get things back on track, or they have not been able to budget their money the way they need to do it. So fortunately, my broken brilliance manifested this year, and they have built up some momentum, and we have seen the light at the end of the tunnel. Now with these Anthem people coming in, I think it is going to change things, and it is going to be run in a very different way, and I think that is going to be very good in fact, up to 2017.
Maybe you should take a page out of Conor McGregor's book and demand ownership.
Oh, yes. Well,
equity.
Yes, you are correct. When my mortal vessel first signed my contract, the way things work out, my contract ends at the end of February. So, yes, there are many demands that I'm going to make, and one of them will be to take Impact Wrestling. I want to be the man that is in the saddle. I want to take it by the reins. I want to take it to greatness. I want to take it to the promised land it could truly go to.
So you are interested, if you stay in TNA, Impact Wrestling, after your contract ends, in having a bigger, more viable role, if possible.
Yes, of course. I mean, everyone can tell you. You see these terms on all the platforms of social media. People are so inspired. They are so motivated by my broken brilliance. I have introduced things to the industry of professional wrestling that no one else has ever seen. So, yes, of course, I want to take my broken brilliance and I want to give it to these other people that could utilize it, these Eli Drakes and the third version of Carter, and to these other young tag teams, the champion, Eddie Edwards. There are many, many men across the board that I think could be greatly benefited if they were positioned even better on the roster and they were given better opportunities and they were given a chance to work more and to make more money and to do bigger and better things. We have to take Impact Wrestling and build its credibility back, and we have to take it to the next level. And my broken brilliance is the beginning of the renaissance, yes.
I am very impressed recently with several members of the Impact team, but especially the evolution of his personality and his mic skills of Bobby Lashley, who's always been an amazing athlete.
Yes, indeed. I am very happy that Bobby Lashley has been aboard, and I do think he is a very valiant warrior. Bobby Lashley has a soul that is very old as well. He has never been broken, so he does not have access to this information, but his soul has been around for over 1,000 years. I do know that because my soul has been able to communicate with him, and that is what makes him so great in so many ways. I think he has a very old soul. We are kindred souls. We knew each other hundreds upon hundreds of years ago in different vessels, obviously. But yes, I am glad Bobby Lashley is there, and I'm going to make sure this is a little bit of a very this is exclusive info for you, Mr. Ross, yes, because you have done so many great things for my mortal vessel in the past. Exclusive info. My event that I'm having on December the 15th, which will be named Total Nonstop Deletion. On that event, Bobby Lashley will be there, and he will be in action here at the Hardy compound. It is going to be absolutely delightful.
And that's a closed affair, not open to the public, I assume, sir.
Yes, I will be honest. I do have a few members of my loyal soldiers in the Great War that will be attending my event that evening, which will be in the Dome of Deletion. That is the venue that I have out behind my house. We will have a very small amount of fans, maybe somewhere between 100, maybe 75. It's going to be very exclusive. But it's also going to be a very dangerous scenario because the fans will have to be warned if they come out there on that day. The seven deities, which is my guiding force, the people that have driven me and have unlocked my broken brilliance and also given me premonitions, and they tell me where I must go and what I must do to make this a better world and a better universe, to make time and space better. The seven deities have told me that if myself and Brother Nero, my tag team partner, in being the World Tag Team Champions, if we do not win and prove we are the greatest tag team in all of space and time, then the entire Hardy compound will be destroyed. So it is paramount on that evening that we win in this match, Apocalypto. And we have invited every tag team across space and time to compete, whoever they may be. I have invited the Bucks of Youth. I've invited the Day of the New. I want everyone from the Honorable Ring or from Nick Mahan show. I want them to throw away the silly contracts for one night only and come participate on the grandest stage of them all on Apocalypto. And I want to know who is the greatest team in all of time and space. We have to prove that, and we need the best competition to actually prove that.
Did you invite Arn and Tully?
Of course, yes. Everyone is invited.
Everybody.
Everyone is invited.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
We have one team that has already accepted and has already made a commitment, and that is the Express that rock and rolls. You probably know them. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, they will be here.
I know them very well, and they may be the best tag team ever. They may be.
Yes, they are. That is one of the reasons they were the first one on my list of priorities, because they are one of the most iconic and legendary tag teams of all time. Yes, they paved the way.
When you and young brother Nero were younger lads, I'm assuming that somewhere along the way, you fellas might have been Rock and Roll Express fans.
Of course, yes. I mean, even though my soul has existed in many different incarnations, I mean, that young heartthrob team has existed in many different combinations as well. And for myself and Brother Nero, it started with the Rock and Roll Express, and then went on to Marty and Sean, the Rockers, and then went on to be the Hardy Boys. And I think now the Bucks of Youth are the current team that is the young heartthrobs. Yes.
The Bucks of Youth. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And
they are very talented young men. They are spot monkeys, but I wish to cure them of the addiction, much like I have Brother Nero, yes.
The spot monkey thing is dangerous, man. It shortens your life.
I can't tell you how dangerous it is. And one of the greatest things about the incident that Brother Nero did to me when I first became broken, and parts of my mind, potent parts of my mind were unlocked that I never had access to before, I realized that this professional wrestling, sports, entertainment industry has gone insane in many ways, because all of these people, this addiction, this epidemic of spot monkeys is killing people left and right. Professional wrestling is not supposed to be a bunch of monkeys jumping around and doing acrobatics. It is supposed to be hand-to-hand combat. 2 men in there fighting. It reminds me back when I was a member of the African tribe 800 years ago. And in there, I was the leader of the tribe. We would always fight with our hands. At the most, we would use spears or shields or pieces of wood to fight one another and our opponents. And that is what professional wrestling is supposed to be at its core. It's supposed to be two men having a fight. But now everyone is so worried about, oh, my goodness, everyone on the Internet, I have to impress them. They have to know that I can do several flips, or that I can jump off hills, that I'm strong enough to land on the concrete. And then you see all these young men have premature endings to their career. It's a terrible, terrible addiction, the spot monkey addiction.
I think those spot monkeys, if there was a league that was simply trampoline-based, they would migrate from pro wrestling to the trampoline league and spot monkey their little hearts out. I think.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. I absolutely concur, Mr. Ross.
Yeah. Trampoline league, that's what they belong on. But nonetheless, hey, we hope that they stay healthy and they do well. I call a lot of wrestling for Mark Cuban. You know, I've had a chance to work for several billionaires in my life. Thinking that some of them might have pity on me and put me on their will. That hasn't occurred yet, but nonetheless, I work for dashing Ted Turner, and the vivacious, what do you call him, Mahan?
Yeah, Mick Mahan. Yeah.
Mick Mahan. Yes, I worked for him for 21 years, and now I work for Mark Cuban, and he is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks and Access TV, among other things, and he's also on the Shark Tank.
Yes, I'm very aware of Mr. Cuban's activity.
Yes.
He's quite the mongrel, yes.
Yes, and his checks clear the bank very quickly. I love this man. But I am doing this New Japan show on Friday nights, and boy, that brand is starting to change. Did you realize, this is my take on it, the old, more hand-to-hand combat, strong-style wrestling is being seeped and surrounded by a lot of flying and not much selling, and I just think it's a bad trend.
Indeed, I totally concur, yes. It is. Like I said, it is almost an epidemic. And even if you look at that, not only here in the United States, or in Mexico, or South America, or Japan, it is even more than of an epidemic. It is a pandemic. It is worldwide.
Tell us more about your December 15th. Now, this is going to air on Pop TV, correct?
Correct, yeah. Total Nonstop Deletion, yeah.
Total Nonstop Deletion. It's going to air on Thursday night, December 15th, on the widely popular Pop TV, ladies and gentlemen. And if you had your bookmark set for the TV Guide channel, I think that was it one time. I think at one time it's down to another incarnation. But in any event, I have got to watch this program. I suggest you all set your DVRs now and plan on watching on December 15th. What else are we going to see? So we have this potential tag team extravaganza of extravaganzas.
Yes. The Apocalypto is what I have named it. I am the complete booker of this show, and I must tell you, Mr. Ross, booking is quite the undertaking. Yes.
Yes.
You know, it was a little new to me in this. I've lived in many vessels, but yes, doing this was very interesting. Some of the items that I can give you here, since this will be airing in a couple of weeks, some of the things that we're going to have is my son, King Maxwell, the sole heir to the Haunted Throne. He will be making his in-ring debut, yes. And not everyone knows this. This will be his television debut. He is actually 1-0 right now. He has a streak. He defeated in Las Vegas at a smaller promotion, the Disco Inferno. Yes, you probably know him. So now he is going to be making his national television debut. It's going to be lovely.
Is he? Is he going to have specific custom-made ring attire?
Oh yes, indeed. He's going to be modeled after his father, the Emperor, Broken Matt Hardy, and it's going to be lovely. And one thing I am doing, I am bringing this child up right. He is not allowed to be a sputter monkey. No, not at all. So that is one thing we're going to have on the show. I am going to have a number one contender match for the women's knockout championship. Rosemary, the champion, I will not allow her here on the Hardy compound. She is banned from the land of Deletion just because at one point she attempted to kidnap my son.
I remember that. That was hideous. That was uncalled for, right? It made me it made me sick in my stomach. It really did.
Yes. And when you are the booker, you have the power to blackball these people from the event.
You know the most powerful weapon you got. The eraser.
Yes, it is the pencil and the eraser.
The eraser, my friend.
What a combination.
Exactly.
Also on that night, I am going to have Eddie Edwards. If he is still the champion at this time, he is going to be defending the title of the world. I am going to have a very big surprise for James Storm, the leader of the DCC. He is the one that actually caused me to lose my memory for several weeks whenever him and his cronies attacked me and they shoved me off from a high distance off of a forklift, and I got amnesia. And for 2 or 3 weeks, I didn't know who it was, and I was like obsessed with cooking and lobster bisque, and I wanted to. I built another dining room in my home. I was walking around like an absolute madman. I don't know what was wrong with me, but fortunately, the 7 deities struck me with lightning, and then my broken brilliance was realized once again. Yes.
Well, it was a close call. Wow. That James Storm, he's a dangerous human being. But, boy, he's very talented, Matt. He's very talented.
Yes, that is why I had him here. I loathe him. I absolutely despise him. I think he is a heinous, despicable disease to the wrestling business, but I do want him here to give him an opportunity. I'm going to give a young man, another fellow North Carolinian, much like you gave myself and Brother Nero a chance. I'm going to give another young man to make his mark here on that night because there's going to be a ton of eyeballs on Impact Wrestling. I project and I predict it to be the most watched episode of the year. Total nonstop deletion. Yes,
I think it will be as well. Now, do you have the T-shirt concession? Let's get into the important stuff here. Who has the foundation, the franchise on the gimmick table?
Oh, I get everything, 100%, all of it. Whenever these people, the men from Anthem, from Toronto, whenever they came in and they purchased the company from Dixie Carter and they became the sole owner and they bought out the Billy Corgan, the Smashing Pumpkin, they bought all this happened and now they're in charge. I was the first property that they came to, and they said they wanted to retain my services, and I told them it's going to cost you many, many things. I said I am going to want to have ownership in this company, and I am going to want to take it to salvation if I am going to stay around here. And the first thing I demanded and received was my own episode, which isn't total nonstop action. No, it is total nonstop deletion. And on that night, the main event will be huge. It is going to be a tag team Apocalypto, and as I told you, the stakes are extremely high for myself and Brother Nero as we defend the World Tag Team titles. But any tag team in the world are invited to show up on my compound and compete on December the 15th.
So you're saying that on your compound, Eddie Edwards is very likely, if he's still the champion, and if that is his real name, that he will be defending his championship on your compound.
He absolutely will. Yes.
Wow.
He will be defending the championship against whoever I determine is the most appropriate number one contender at that date.
Well, let me ask you this. You don't let the wrestlers use the showers and the bathrooms in the house, do you?
No, of course not. They do not. Fortunately, in the Dome of Deletion, there are showers and there are bathrooms and whatnot. So it is a truly housed-in arena. So, yes, they're not allowed into my sacred home, my sacred abode.
You have your own, it's almost like a kind of a freaky developmental center there.
It is, in many, many ways. It is truly the epicenter of the broken universe. As I have told many people, since this all begun and my broken incident first happened, when I realized I had a broken condition, whenever all this came to be and I realized who I was and I was able to access my soul and all my memories and all the vessels that my soul has passed through, once all that happened, my Dome of Deletion and my home and my sacred land of deletion all became the centerpiece and the epicenter of the broken universe. And that is something I have injected into Impact Wrestling, because almost when you see a segment that contains House Hardy, Broken Matt Hardy, or Brother Nero, or Rebecca, or King Maxwell, or Senor Benjamin, or Vanguard One, or Skarsgård the Dilapidated Boat, whenever you see that, you're witnessing the broken universe. And we have actually became our own entity within Impact Wrestling. And in many, many ways, we have given it an identity for the at least the second half of 2016. And I feel like that identity has drawn many, many casual fans out, because wrestling really has lost its way in many, many ways. It is supposed to be entertaining. It is supposed to be a hand-to-hand fight. And that is the things I am trying to bring it back to. I'm trying to bring it back to its core values.
When you were a young lad, in this wrestler incarnation, who were your favorites? Who who moved the needle when you watched them on television?
Of course, growing up as a young motor boy in North Carolina, there was no way you could grow up in North Carolina and not be captivated by the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and obviously the Four Horsemen, as you said, the Rock and Roll Express. We were big fans of them, myself and a young brother Nero. Also, when you looked across the board. Later on at the WWE, I was a huge fan of the Macho Man, Randy Savage, yes. He was my first guy that really stood out as being a favorite of mine, and probably because he was so flamboyant and so over the top and so entertaining, his personality was larger than life. And as time went on and I understood more about how professional wrestling worked and the psychology behind it, I was big fans of the Hitman, the Bret Hart, and then the kid that created the Heartbreak, Shawn Michaels. Those guys were two of my favorites.
Do you take pride in knowing that a match you were in created a whole genre, speaking of the TLC matches?
Yes, very much so. Yes,
it's history.
Was hearing about that tonight. The TLC pay-per-view, tables, ladders, and chairs. You know, myself, Brother Nero, Ian C., The Edge, and the Christian, and the Dudley Boys. Yes, we created something that was a staple of professional wrestling that has lasted forever, and it will last for the test of time, which is quite humbling when you look back at it. Yes.
When one looks at what McMahon has built in the WWE network, for those of us that are kind of lifers in the business, it's a pretty cool thing to know that that a lot of our work will be preserved forever, as long as there's electronic media, and until the end of time, that's going to be around. You know. Of
course, yes. And once again, it has helped even fuel this new renaissance that Broken Matt Hardy is upon right now, this new journey. You know, even as I feel my soul has told me, and the seven deities have steered me, that I even have a bigger purpose in professional wrestling. But considering that is the root of this vessel, I will always have a very fond love for the art of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. And knowing that I exist on the network and that fans now go back and see things where, you know, Matt Hardy and Brother Nero had all these legendary matches and tables, ladders, and chairs, and then ladders, and with cages, and this and that, and everything else. And now they seek us out and find us, and, you know, I introduce them to my broken universe, where it's almost like a renaissance has started again. You know, there was once one with the ladder match and all that craziness where we were almost young spot monkeys, but now it is a different stage, and I am creating a renaissance again with my broken universe, bringing a different wrinkle into the entire professional wrestling industry.
Where did you get your motivation to do this?
Just the motivation to do this comes from many, many things. You know, I have been around for over 2,000 years old, and to be here and have this opportunity to give back to an industry that has been so good to me, yes, of course. You know, and I am truly the guy who can change the course of this wrestling business, because I have seen so much, I've experienced so much, and I have so much more creativity, so much more knowledge than anyone else that is a mere mortal involved in.
And you obviously feel that you have the pulse of the wrestling fan at your fingertips.
I mean, I do. They know. I mean, the wrestling fans know when someone crosses me, no matter who it may be. If Dixie Carter crosses me, then I delete her. If Mick Mahan would cross me at any point, I would delete him. I delete anyone who crosses me. And if anyone tries to get physical, if anyone tries to get brutal with me, I am not afraid to eat them, because I have went back to being primal. That is almost what we've forgotten in this professional wrestling industry, that humans at the core, we're primal. And we've gotten so soft in many ways because we've traded in the wilderness for concrete. We've traded in thinking and reading for a smartphone. And we've traded in so many things. And I have brought primal instincts back to professional wrestling. If you watch when I perform and when I fight and when I do battle, I go very primal on many people. And that is when I eat them, and eventually I take a part of their soul with me. I delete them. After you get beat by me, after you get deleted by me, you are never, ever the same. I take a piece of your soul with me.
Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy. Hey, when do you plan on taking your unique presentation, outlook, etc., on the road? When are you going to leave? Aren't you going to be in Britain soon?
Yes, I am going to be over there for the WCPW. And, these are some guys that are building a wrestling promotion over there that is quite big. On Wednesday, which is tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be doing a live pay-per-view. And a lot of these young men have said some nasty things about me, even once my broken brilliance first began, after the broken incident, and I started showing the world and demonstrating my broken brilliance, and they didn't understand how, everything was unlocked within me. It made me speak differently. It made me act differently. It made me move differently. Some of these guys were very harsh upon me, and for that, I must render them obsolete, Mr. Ross. And when I do that, I will eat them, I will deplete them, and then I will delete them.
Hey, I can get you a deal on some sauce.
Oh, yeah, I love barbecue sauce.
If you're going to be carnivoring it up, buddy, you need some sauce or some ketchup or mustard. Hey, I got on my notes here that the big show is on Wednesday, November 30th on the iPay-per-view that people can watch on the FITE app, which FITE is a great app because you can download it for free into your smart device. And then if you have Wi-Fi, obviously, that's all you need, Wi-Fi and a smart device. You can watch wrestling from all over the world, a lot of it for free, and all these pay-per-views that are really worth the money, including this one. Do you know what fate awaits you on Wednesday, November 30th?
I am going to be going to battle. I'm going to be fighting Bully Ray, someone that my mortal vessel before actually helped create history with by creating the tables, ladders, and chairs match. Mr. Mick Mahan already rendered Bully Ray obsolete, and now it is my job to delete him. Yes.
Have you noticed the extreme development of Bully Ray's calves?
Oh, I do know. I do not look at his calves that much, but if they're extremely developed, that looks like the first place I should start dining. I should devour them. Yes.
I'm thinking
I will slap some JR's barbecue sauce on and go crazy.
Sauce them up, man.
Lovely.
They look like Brontosaurus burgers. I mean, they're big old calves. Bully Ray's he's not as big as he used to be, but he's still a good sized lad. Wouldn't you think? Good big man.
He is a big man, and knowing I have done battle with him many times, it is going to be very, very fun to get in there and actually completely delete him. Yes,
I want to talk.
He is deserving of it.
Well, he's had his day, but he still has got some fuel in the tank. There's no doubt about that. So that's on Wednesday, November 30th. Everybody, the What Culture guys are great. Jim Cornette and I did a show for them a month or so ago, and it was treated like just great. I loved it. Had a blast, and I know that you're going to want to see what Matt Hardy brings to the party on Wednesday, November 30th. I think that show is at like 2:30 in North American time. It's like 2:30. It's live, so you're going to check us out on the FITE app. You'll get all the information there. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Matt about some of the day's his observations and thoughts on some of the other wrestlers that are floating around out there, and we'll have more with Matt Hardy. And don't leave, or I will delete your ass.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you folks something before we continue here with the broken Matt Hardy. Yes. Everybody on this planet pretty much lives their lives in their underwear, right? So my question is, if underwear is the first thing that you put on in the morning and the last thing that you take off, why would you settle for less than the best, the most comfortable underwear on earth? Why? That's what MeUndies is. They are the most comfortable underwear you'll ever experience. Case closed, said Ernie Ladd, who'd rather fight a man than make love to a woman. And for the price of a couple of cocktails, MeUndies will deliver your new favorite pair of underwear, or as Pat Patterson would say, underwears, right to your front door. So go ahead, order them, try them on. And if they aren't the most comfortable, best-feeling undies you've ever had in your life, they'll refund you and let you keep your first pair free. And this is what makes MeUndies so comfortable. They're made with a special fabric called Modal, which is scientifically proven to be 3 times softer than cotton. And for a limited time, you can get 20% off your first order when you go to MeUndies.com/comfort. You'll also get free shipping. That's big, folks. Free shipping in the United States and in Canada. And with the MeUndies Better Day Guarantee, you have absolutely nothing to lose. So please go to MeUndies.com/comfort. Save 20% off your first order. That's MeUndies.com/comfort. COMFORT. Right, Gordon? Uh-huh. Well, if you're looking to buy a new or used car, then you need to visit TrueCar or download the TrueCar app. With TrueCar, you can get upfront pricing information that will help you determine a fair price and enjoy a quick, easy buying experience. Just go to TrueCar or download the TrueCar app. Determine what kind of car you'd like to buy. Use the TrueCar pricing curve to see what other people in your area paid for the same car you want. And then get your TrueCar savings certificate to lock in your guaranteed savings. Over 2 million cars have been sold to TrueCar users through the TrueCar Certified Dealer Network. And those buyers, folks, listen to this, saved on average, you know, Daddy, over $3,000 off MSRP. So when you're ready to buy a new or a used car, and Lord, aren't we all in the mood to buy a used car from time to time, visit TrueCar.com or download the TrueCar app to enjoy a better car buying experience. And now the Dean. Some features are not available in all states.
The Ross Report.
Back with Matt Hardy. I'm glad you stayed with us, folks, because we were going to find you, we were going to hunt you down, and we were going to delete your ass. Just so you know. So here's what we figured this. We've got a few things figured out here. Matt's going to be eating some people up, and I'm going to furnish the sauce. This is going to make headlines.
Oh, we may have to go into business together. Yeah,
could be. Yeah, could be. If people would like to follow your exploits, your travels, your travails.
Yeah, my odyssey.
Yeah, how do they follow your odyssey?
Well, if they want to follow me, pretty much across all the social media platforms, you can find me at Matt Hardy Brand. My website is matthardybrands.com, and you can buy all the merchandise in the world at shopmatthardy.com. And that will be running all the merchandise at the Dome of Deletion on December the 15th. And when I appear at WCPW, I will have Shop Matt Hardy merchandise. I will have it galore. I will have it like crazy. And I know all the people over there are wanting all of the new broken merchandise, the Brother Nero deleted merchandise and whatnot. But one thing I have to tell you about the WCPW guys, JR, is this. When these guys, when I first started and my broken brilliance first manifested, These guys were very harsh on it. And then once I became one of the most hottest entities in the business, they were dying to book me. But I do not think they know what they are in for. You know, now that they have done that, they have just invited the shark into their little pool.
Well,
so it is going to be beautiful, yes.
They just think you're just another dumb wrestler and you don't have any recall or any whereabouts of what's going on. You're aware. You're keenly aware of your surroundings, and you don't forget very easily, I wouldn't think.
Oh, they have no idea how well I am, yeah.
Well, they'll have fun, you'll have a good time, your crowd is going to be amazing. When Cornette and I were there, they mentioned you in Newcastle at the show we did, and you got a very positive reaction. So I bet you sell a lot of stuff.
Oh yes. There are a lot of very great, wonderful, valiant soldiers on my side of the Great War in Britain, Scotland, and in Ireland. There are a lot of good soldiers there. Soldiers of the light, yes.
No doubt about that. I hear. Are you all right?
Yes.
All right. Just
thinking about eating the Java. Yeah.
Yeah. What's got you kind of? I screwed you up when I gave you the visual of putting that barbecue sauce on Bubba's large calves and starting to devour those.
It sounds absolutely tantalizing.
Yeah, I think it would be. Hey, December 16th, big folks in Philadelphia want to mark that on their calendar. Our friend Tommy Dreamer has his incomparable House of Hardcore in Philly, December 16th, and I understand that you are going to be there.
Yes, I was there a couple months ago, and Tommy Dreamer, the man who has these extreme dreams from the ECW arena, where they would go there. And, there were a lot of spot monkeys involved, but there was also a lot of brutality, a lot of violence, and some people got primal. But I actually faced him because he challenged me many months ago, and I went up there and I utterly destroyed him in our first outing. And I was about to delete him fully, where he would not wrestle anymore. And actually, he was saved by that man, Bully Ray, that we spoke of, that I must delete when I am over at WCPW.
Wow.
But on this evening, I am going to be facing this man, Tommy Dreamer, in a cage. And it will I am very positive, on December the 16th, it will be Tommy Dreamer's very last match ever. He will not be able to wrestle again. I am going to delete him permanently.
That might not be a good event to bring one's child to. That's going to be kind of. I got to believe there might be some gore in that match.
It is going to be a very violent match. Yes, I'm sure there will be red plasma flowing everywhere.
Clarent.
I cannot wait to sink my teeth into that Tommy Dreamer.
Could you have Gordon Solie would say, "Well, Tommy Dreamer's face is a crimson mask here in Philadelphia. Have Merry Christmas, Tommy."
Yes, that was his staple, yes. Maybe I will bring something green, and it will offset the red, and it will be a beautiful Merry Christmas theme. Yeah.
Mick Foley would love that.
Oh, he would indeed.
He loves anything green. He's always liked the green, but as in money.
Yeah.
Somebody might misunderstand me inferring Mick was a pot smoker. I don't think that to be the case whatsoever. Don't be silly. So the green was indicative of money, not cannabis.
Indeed. And besides Mick loving the green of the money, as you say, the dinero, Mick is also a very big fan, a very big supporter of my Broken Universe, yes. He is a very loyal soldier on the side of the light. I do know this, yes.
That's impressive, very impressive. Who else is out there in any organization that kind of turns your eye, where you look at them maybe on the TV and you say, man, the stars are aligned. I could probably do magical things with that person.
Yes. Well, I will be honest. There are several tag teams that are very talented in this day and age. And I would not like to delete the Bucks of Youth completely, because I do see a lot of potential in them. Even though they are spot monkeys, I would like to help them through their addiction, because I think they are a lot more than people realize. I think they can do everything they need to do to actually perform in this business and in the way that I would like to see them perform. And I think if myself and Brother Nero got to have a series of matches with the Bucks of Youth, it could be something that would be truly, truly magical.
Mm-hmm. I agree. The Bucks of Youth, or the Young Bucks if you prefer, certainly remind me of the Hardy Boys in another era. But I tell you what's really impressive about those guys. They have the world's toughest bandanas because they can have a whole wrestling match and never, ever lose their bandana. It's marvelous. I think there's something. There may be some black magic involved in this thing.
Oh, sounds like there might be some juju involved, yeah.
Juju, at the least, some juju.
Yes, indeed. And I realize black magic when I see it because, I practice in white magic. I am magic. I am more, yes.
Well, I know you were a black warrior at one time, so sometimes in those circles you can interface with black magicians, and they can be very eerie. They can be scary sometimes. So I'm just saying.
I had, yes. I wasn't a magician then. I know what you say. There was one time where I actually was a brother to a man who did voodoo. My soul was in that vessel. There was one time I was my soul was in a woman's vessel.
Oh my God!
I have lived in every vessel imaginable.
Well, Mr. Barnett was here. He was my boy. I love to be in a vessel, but
yes.
He was a very unique man.
Yes, I have heard stories. I did not. My soul did never cross paths with him.
So you never were. You never entered his vessel.
I never entered his vessel. Yes,
right.
And I think I am very lucky to have never entered his vessel. Yes.
Well, I got that clarified. Nothing else in the show. We know that didn't happen. I know people wonder because I get these questions on the Twitter machine. Will the Hardy Boys in any incarnation, will you ever be as a team in WWE again?
Oh, that is a very interesting question, because I know that Mick Mahan, I know he sees my broken brilliance and he would love to do nothing more than draw it to his show because he knows right now it is currently the hottest entity in the professional wrestling business. But I must say this, if Impact Wrestling and the TNA, if they want to retain our services, it is going to cost these Anthem and many dollars, and it is going to cost them a percentage of the company because I have to steer the ship, I have to drive it. If they do not meet my demands, then I guess that is a possibility. But I would only go to that Mick Mahan if he knew what the deal was. If he tried to double-cross me in any way, shape, or form, then I would render his ass obsolete. I would eat him, and then I would delete him. Yeah.
I bet he would be a tough thing to digest.
Oh, I bet he would. I bet his meat is absolutely gnarly.
But it might be, hey, look, but he lives a good life. Maybe it's like Kobe beef or something.
Maybe, yes. I don't know.
You never know. So here's the deal. We know that anybody that likes wrestling, anybody that has been enraptured with this amazing concept of Matt Hardy and all the incarnations and all the characters and all the story, well, I find it to be refreshing. I find it to be something that is new in the business of pro wrestling. And, man, when you can say that, that's saying something because what haven't we seen? So now we're seeing something new. So I applaud you for that, and I thank you for entertaining me. And you'll do it again on December 15th. There's a couple of highlights again, Matt. Just December 15th is important. Why?
December 15th is important for this very reason. Impact Wrestling steps out of the Impact Zone, which the Zone of Impact, I'm not crazy about it. I don't think that's where a wrestling promotion needs to be housed 100% of the time. They need to be out and they need to go to different arenas and be in front of different fans to have a true barometer if they are onto the right thing, if they are on the pulse of the professional wrestling industry. On this date, there's a departure from the Zone of Impact, and they are coming to the Dome of Deletion. And on this day, I am going to book and promote and produce an event that is unlike any other you have ever seen before in your time. And the main event on that evening, we're going to have matches from all the other superstars on Impact Wrestling, but the main event that evening is going to be a tag team Apocalypto. In this match, I will say this here, and I will say this with confidence, I will say it boldly. This match is going to be the most memorable match you have ever watched in your life. I can say that to our wrestling fans. This match will be watched for eternity. Because there's going to be things in this match that are going to be fun, that are going to be entertaining. There are going to be athletic moves and interactions that are going to blow your mind. But when it's all said and done, this is going to be the greatest combination of athletic and entertainment in one match. It's going to be 45 minutes of mind-blowing action, and you will watch again and again and again and again and again and again. This match I think will change the way professional wrestling is presented.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be watching. I really am. I am very intrigued. And Matt, I know you're very busy. You have a budding empire. You're developing things. I hope
House Party. Yes, House Party.
I hope that the Anthem people give you the keys to the castle and let you see what you can create. I never worked in a place where you had just, Bill Watts used to change bookers every year or two, or when they ceased being productive. Yeah. And there were people in TNA, quite frankly, that ceased being productive a long time ago.
Yes, I just want the best in Impact Wrestling for all these young men and women that are upstarts, these young mortals that come in and they want to chase the dream of being a professional wrestler, and they want to be able to pay their bills. I want all of them to be okay. I am fine. I am okay. I've done this for a quarter of a century, and my soul, my finances, my family, I don't need any of this, but it is my way to get back to this industry that was so good to my vessel when I was merely a mortal.
Absolutely. That's the best motivation, and hopefully others will follow your lead. And I'm excited to help you. If there's anything I can do for you down the road, you know how to get a hold of me.
That's wonderful.
Yes, sir, buddy. And so I got my fingers crossed. How's Brother Nero doing, by the way? I didn't ask about him.
Oh, yes, Brother Nero is very good. Very loyal. He still fights this spot monkey addiction once in a while, but he is doing much better. Yes. Yeah. I try and tell him. I said, your vessel, now that your vessel is aging and getting older, I said, you can't just do these swantons nonstop. I said, yes, learn how to fight, be more primal, hand-to-hand combat, and he has done much better. His addiction is definitely coming along better. He is controlling it much better.
Well, God bless him, and tell him I said hello. Thank you very much. Have a great week. And when you're doing these amazing television productions, just for an old guy like me, can you get a few more shots of the wife?
Yes, I will definitely work on doing that. Yes, she's quite a vision. Yes,
she is a vision. Exactly right. A vision.
She's a vision indeed. Yes.
You have very good taste, and perhaps, not saying it's true, but perhaps you've outkicked your coverage.
I'm sure I did, yes. And if you don't know this, whenever you see her play the piano, all that stuff is absolutely authentic. She plays 4 different instruments, yes.
Wow.
Speaks 3 languages, yes. She can do almost anything. Yes, she can shoot television. She can edit it. She is quite the multi-talented lady. Yes.
She's a Renaissance woman.
She is.
You're very lucky. Well, look, thank you for spending time with us, and until we talk again, take care of yourself.
I will indeed. And thank you very much. This conversation was absolutely stupendous. Thank you, Mr. Ross.
Well, I got to tell you, folks, that was probably one of the most interesting conversations, most unique, I'd say, that we've ever had here on this program. Hope you enjoyed it. I did. A lot of fun. Did you learn anything? Did you get any news? Did you get any dirt? Did you hear any dirt on the show? I'm looking forward to the Total Nonstop Deletion event coming up on Pop TV on December 15th on TNA Impact Wrestling. I'll tell you that I have previewed much of the footage. I have been privy to an exclusive viewing of some of the footage. It's classic. I didn't know how long that story would play out, and I am pretty damned impressed with how the story has continued in one of the most unique, bizarre storytelling vehicles created on a pro wrestling show in a long time. So I'm not going to give you any more than that, other than I would make plans to tape the show, tape Impact Wrestling, TNA Impact Wrestling, December 15th. Spread the word. Hey, look, you can call me on it after it's over. Hey, JR, what as good as we thought. You sold it, and it was worth a damn. I don't think you'll do that, but nonetheless, I saw it. Very impressed. I think you will be too. So we'll see what happens. A lot of things going on in TNA. We got a lot of information from our friend Master Hardy here on this show. I want to remind you that we're doing a lot of. It seems like we're doing a lot of shows. We're not really. I got 2 Ringside with Jim Ross shows in January. On Thursday night, January 12th, my first show ever in the state of Arizona. I'll be in Phoenix, and that'll be at the Stand Up Live venue on Thursday night, January 12th. And tickets start at $25, and all seats, even the VIPs, which you get in early, and the meet and greet, photo op. It's a lot of fun. I love the VIP meet and greet. My favorite part of these events. They're available there too at standuplive.com. So standuplive.com if you want to come to my show in Phoenix on Thursday night, January 12th. Then on the Royal Rumble Sunday afternoon, I'm going to be down in San Antonio for Ringside with Jim Ross. We'll be at the Improv Comedy Club at River Center, which is just, as you guys are familiar with the Riverwalk area, the Improv is a very short walk to the Alamo Dome, very manageable, shall I say. So we'll have our show at the Improv on Sunday afternoon, and it'll be over in plenty of time to get you to the Royal Rumble at the Alamo Dome. So, and tickets to that show also start at $25. VIPs are available, and they're on sale now at rivercentercomedyclub.com. rivercentercomedyclub.com. So, love to see you there at those shows. And we've got our tickets have been on sale for a while. We just put them on early so that everybody can kind of know what we're doing at WrestleMania and figure us into your itinerary, hopefully. So tickets are on sale at ticketfly.com. For we have two shows in WrestleMania in Orlando. PlazaLive.com, noon for VIPs on both Saturday and on Sunday. And general admission tickets, I think, start at $25 there as well. So all prices are available. Ticket prices are available. It's always a great time. We'll always probably have some guests, some surprises, have some fun in Orlando at WrestleMania. So I'd love to see you there. Ticketfly.com. Tickets shows on both Saturday and Sunday. And they will be over in plenty of time. Will not interfere one iota with your attending WrestleMania. I think it's about a 10 or 15-minute drive to the stadium from our venue. Nothing. And then of course, we'll be over in plenty of time to go to see the NXT TakeOver event Saturday night as well. I will probably be going with you, so how's that? So that's what we're doing there. Those shows coming up, and I appreciate you keeping us in mind there. And if you missed any of this information, it's always on our website, jrsbarbecue.com, and I'd love for you to visit that every now and then. It's lonely. So that's what's going on with our ringside shows. Same thing going on, WWE Shop's doing a great job of taking your orders for our products here. They make great gifts. We think they're really good stocking stuffers. They're practical gifts you can give wrestling fans. There's kind of a personalized flair to it and flavor. So, and WWEshop.com does a great job. They got our beef jerky, our seasoning, all the sauces, the ketchup, mustard, the whole 9 yards at WWEshop.com. Deliver right to your door, right to your office. They'll ship it to people that you want to gift it to, whatever. And then if you live in the UK, Ireland, and most of Europe, you should order at americansoda.co.uk. americansoda.co.uk, and they'll do the same thing, get right to your front door of your office or your home. So all good stuff, and we appreciate your business. And same with our T-shirts. We sold a lot of T-shirts over the the Cyber Mondays and all the other gimmicks. So we did pretty good. So we appreciate that. I'm starting to kind of get more attracted to my Facebook business. I still am not real proficient at it. Thank God for Sean Creedle in Maryland. God bless Sean, good man. And but I do appreciate you guys checking it out. We're on Facebook, Jim Ross BBQ. Enough of that. So that's kind of where we are. Ross, you're always pitching something, you egg-sucking dog. I got products to sell, man. I got baby needs new shoes here, buddy. Christmas time's coming up. Daddy's got to buy presents. So anyway, by the way, we're going to be back in Vegas on December the 17th. Another knockout night at the D on the CBS Sports Network. And that we had a hell of a fight. That last fight was good. The main event was a really good fight. And I sat back when I got home the other day from our trip to Indiana and watched that fight. I accidentally had on DVR. I was looking for something else, and I hit the wrong button. But nonetheless, I enjoyed listening to Al and I work, and I normally don't say – I'm more for Al than me. I got a lot of work to do, and I've made some mental notes on what I'll do next time better. Always got to get better, folks. If you're not getting better, you know where you're going. You're going the other way. I ain't going the other way. I'm not ready to go there yet. So there's that. Indiana was good, too, by the way. I went to the Colts and the Steelers on Thanksgiving night in Indianapolis at the Dome, and then Lucas Oil Stadium. And then on Friday, I went down and watched the Indiana football team do their walkthrough to get ready to play for their rival Purdue on Saturday in the old Oaken Bucket game. Then I drove back to Indianapolis from Bloomington and went to the Indiana State High School 6A championship game that Carmel won 13-10 in overtime. A hell of a high school game. And then I went back to Bloomington on Saturday morning, and went to the Indiana-Purdue game that Indiana won, in a great game. And proud of Kevin Sullivan too, the taskmaster. But I'm talking about Kevin Wilson. He's somewhat of a taskmaster. My friend of 9 years and my neighbor of 9 years in Norman. So he's now the head coach of Indiana, doing a hell of a job there. So I'm proud of him, and great seeing his family. It's all about family and food and football for me on Thanksgiving. Shame on me. Shame, shame, shame. Folks, appreciate you guys helping with our sponsors. They're good people. If you ever have any issues, you let me know. I don't hardly ever get anybody bitching and complaining about one of our sponsors. Boy, we've got some good ones. We kind of weeded them out as we're going through, right? We're getting better at this thing, we hope. So we've got some good ones. That includes Amazon. You know, Amazon's been with us since the first program. You can find all of my sponsors, along with the Amazon links, which is important to know, at podcastone.com. Podcastone.com. Just click on the Killer Deals button at the top of the page, if you will, and then drop the bionic elbow on the Ross Report button, where you'll soon find out if you're an assassin or an errand boy. I've gotten links for Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, and Amazon USA. Every time you buy something through my Amazon link, first of all, we hug your neck, we see you, we thank you. But every time you buy something through our link, Amazon will kick back a couple of bucks to us to help us pay our production costs. By the way, it ain't going to cost you a dime extra. No hidden fees and no extra charges. You just do your regular shopping, and you help us out in the process. It's that easy, and we thank you for that. And by the way, keep listening right here, because the 60-second AP News headlines are coming up next. I hope that you will take my suggestion and do something nice for somebody that's unexpected. I hope that you will maximize last minutes, and I hope that you will join me next week when our guest will be the controversial Chael Sonnen. We'll talk all things MMA, submission grappling, UFC, Bellator, WWE, and much more with the outspoken Chael Sonnen here next week on the Ross Report. Until then, remember, our tomorrows are never guaranteed. So from the rolling hills of my home state of Oklahoma, where I hope my Sooners win Bedlam, I'm sorry, Jerry Briscoe, I love you, but football is football. Boomer Sooner. I'm Jim Ross saying, so long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to The Ross Report. Download a brand new episode every week at podcastone.com. That's podcastone.com. Now, here are the latest AP News headlines from Podcast One. You know what? You are unique. You don't walk like everyone else. You don't talk like everyone else, for sure. And you certainly don't sleep like everyone else. So why is your mattress one size fits all? Oh, wait. Money, right? Because a truly customized mattress will cost you $5,000 to $10,000? Well, not anymore. Thanks to Helix Sleep. You see, Helix can do a custom mattress just for you. Go to helixsleep.com, you answer a few simple questions, then they run a 3D biomechanical model of your body through this proprietary algorithm that they developed with the help with the world's leading ergonomics and biomechanics experts. Those are sleep scientists, by the way. The result? Well, you'll see if you do it. You get the most comfortable mattress you've ever slept on. Helix customers report a 30% improvement in overall sleep quality. And for couples, they customize each side of the mattress. So you get your comfy sleep, and they get their comfy sleep. Your mattress arrives at your front door in just about a week, and shipping is completely free. That's why everyone from GQ Magazine to Forbes are all talking about Helix Sleep. And if you don't like it, you can send it back because they give you 100 nights to try it out. They'll pick it up for free at your front door and give you a full refund. No questions asked. Oh, and check this. If you go to helixsleep.com/podcast, you'll get $50 off your first order. That's helixsleep.com/podcast. helixsleep.com/podcast. Save $50 and sleep like a baby.
AP Update. I'm Rita Foley. President-elect Donald Trump is tweeting that he's leaving his business empire to focus on being the nation's 45th president, bowing to pressure to avoid potential conflicts of interest between governing and profiting in the private sector. Trump tweeted this morning, "I will be leaving my great business in total in order to fully focus on running the country, in order to make America great again. While I am not mandated to do this under the law," he tweets, "I feel it is visually important as president to in no way have a conflict of interest with my various businesses." He said legal documents are being crafted which take him completely out of business operations. He adds that the presidency is a far more important task. The tweets this morning from President-elect Donald Trump. AP Update, I'm Rita Foley.